Kayla, and you're watching Vineyard Youth Online. Up next, we have worship and a great service, so keep watching Vineyard Youth Online.
Hey Vineyard Youth, my name's Nicole, and we're going to start with a time of worship, so I just want to invite you all to stand up and really sing this out. You can stand, you can sit, however you want to worship. We're really just here to worship Jesus. We're all doing this together, and that's a really great gift, especially in this time. So I just want to encourage you to sing this out and just to worship God with everything you've got. I've searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty place, and treasure that fades is never enough. Then you came along, put me back together. Every desire you satisfy here in your love. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. You've seen them all, and still call me friend. God of the mountain is the God of the valley. There is not a place where mercy and your grace will find me again. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. I just encourage you guys to sing this out and just really allow God in this time of worship. You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies till all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear.
my mother's womb. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again into your family. Your blood flows through my veins. Just sing it out. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. Yeah, you split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. Whoa. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. Yes, I am a child of God. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence. Sing it again. Lord, Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence. We need your presence. Pour out your presence. Let us become more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your goodness. Let us become more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your goodness. God, we just thank you for this time of worship you've given us. I pray for our weeks, God, that you can just provide us safety and health, God, that throughout this time we can rely on you and we can build our relationship in you and put our trust in you, God. I pray over the message, God, that you can just speak through the speaker. I pray this all in your name. Amen.
Daquan here, reporting live in an undisclosed location. We are about to witness a feat never done by man. Oh, and here comes the stuntman now, Gertrude. You okay? Do you have any words for us?
Let's do this.
Yeah. Wah.
One on one, two on one, three on one, and one for fun.
Say it biggie, right. The big old resonation, give your rap a heart attack. The pedal to the metal and you're running through the pack. The biggie, buddy, wiggity, whack. You're tearing up the rubber.
Woo! So, Gertrude, how do you think that went?
Well, you know, Daquan, some people say I should be afraid, but my daddy was a stuntman, and so you just roll with the punches.
Fair enough. So, any last words?
Yeah, well, you know, the best combination is a hot dog sandwich and cereal soup. Have a great day. Welcome to Wednesday Youth Online. I'm so glad that you guys are able to join us this Wednesday. See, we've been in this series called Magnify, and the whole point of this series is comparing two instruments, a microscope and a telescope. Now, both of these instruments do the same thing, but for different purposes. You see, a microscope takes these very small things, these very small objects, and magnifies them. It literally blows things out of proportion. Now, a telescope takes these objects that we can't see, that we couldn't wrap our minds around, and brings them into focus so that we can actually see what they are. You see, these instruments, one distorts reality, while the other brings us a little bit closer to reality. Tonight we are going to be talking about fear. And honestly, right now there are a lot of things that we can be afraid of. See, our world is completely changing. We're in this pandemic with COVID-19, and there's a fear of getting sick and not getting better. There's a fear of losing touch with our friends, school not opening back up, sports being postponed for who knows how much longer. There's a fear of losing your job or your parents losing their job, or a fear of you don't know what you're going to do because you've already lost your job or your parents have already lost your job. There's a fear of not getting more toilet paper. And here's the thing, fear is not a bad thing. There are a lot of things in this world that we should be afraid of. If you're hiking and all of a sudden you come across a mountain lion and you're not terrified and want to run away, you're crazy. Or if you're hiking in the woods and you come across a mother bear and her cubs and you don't want to run away, you're crazy as well. You see, fear is not a bad thing, but fear becomes a problem when we allow it to control us. When we allow fear to stop us from doing the things we know we can do or even should do. So what are we supposed to do? Are we just supposed to live in fear for the rest of our lives? How can we overcome fear? And I love the way the Apostle John puts this. He says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear." Or how it's put in the Message, God is love. When we take up permanent residence in a life of love, we live in God and God lives in us. This way, love has the run of the house. There is no room in love for fear. Well-formed love banishes fear. So how do we live not in fear? We choose to live in something that is greater than fear. We choose to let love rule. Take a look at this. This is a kayak. Does everybody know the purpose of a kayak? The purpose of a kayak is to stay afloat, to stay above the water, to safely navigate your way through rapids. Have any of you been down a rapid? If you have, why don't you just let me know in the chat? See, I want us all to imagine that we are flying down this rapid, but we're flying down this rapid without a kayak, without any safety equipment, and we must make it out alive. You're flying down a Class 5 rapid, which are the most dangerous rapids, and it's just you. No life jacket, no paddle, no kayak, no safety equipment, no helmet, just you and your own skin. And if you would not be terrified, you would be absolutely crazy. Because the chance of you running into rock after rock and getting sucked under the water and not being able to get back up for air would be highly likely. Now I want to look at this whole situation through the lens of a microscope. See, the task that we were just dealt was almost impossible. But if we were to magnify every single problem in this situation, knowing we had to safely navigate our way through this rapid without any safety equipment, this task is impossible. Now I want us to imagine that we are flying down this exact same rapid, but this time we're in the kayak. We have all the safety equipment we need. We have all the tools we need. And all of a sudden, this impossible task seems much more doable. Now, I don't know about you, but I would still be terrified. But this time, I want to look at this situation through the lens of a telescope. This would mean that we would be seeing this whole situation from afar. We would be removed from the situation. This means that we'd be able to see every bend. We'd be able to see the way the water moves. We'd be able to see every single rock that we need to dodge. And all of a sudden, this impossible task seems possible. And guys, I know with everything that's going on right now, it would be so easy to live in fear, to allow fear to control us. A lot of us have got a lot of things going on right now and a lot of things to be scared of in our own lives. But I just challenge you right now to take a look at your whole life, your situation, through the way that God sees your life, through the lens that God sees. Because if we take a look at our situations through God's lens, all of a sudden we see a removed view, a higher view, an overview. And you know what we get to see? We see that God is in control. God is still in control. There is nothing that has taken God by surprise. And I love the way that Isaiah says this. He says this, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." You know what? Maybe you're sitting at the edge of a rapid right now and you're terrified. Or maybe you're in the rapid right now and you don't know if you're going to make it to the end. You don't know if you're going to get out. But you know what? God is in control. He is over your whole situation. He is right there with you. He has never left you. He never will leave you. Yeah. We may get some bumps. We may get some bruises. We may get some scars, and it may hurt like heck at times. But you know what? He's never left you, and he never will. And he's going to be with you through the thick and thin. And even right now, it may not seem like God is in control, but he is. And when we take a step back and we see the situation that we are in right now through the lens that God sees it, we see a completely different picture. Yeah, we don't get to see the whole thing. Only God gets to see the whole thing. But we get to see something different. We get to see that God is still in control. And we can choose not to live in fear. We can choose to live for something that is greater than fear. We can choose to live for love. Because perfect love casts out fear. And God is love. So I don't know about you, but I'm going to choose to live in love and not in fear. I'm going to choose to trust God in this situation with everything and any other situation that comes my way, because I know that he's in control and he's never left me and he never will. And I want to challenge you right now. If you're afraid, I want to challenge you to get prayer right now. Click that live prayer button. Ask them to pray for you to trust God and to know that God is over this whole situation, that God is in control. And I challenge you to truly believe that. Believe that God is in control. I know it's scary, but I also do know that God is in control, that he's never left you, he never will, and that no situation will ever come up that would take God by surprise. Thank you so much for joining us tonight this Wednesday. I will see you guys back here at 7 o'clock next Wednesday. Don't forget to join us at 7 o'clock on Monday and Friday for our Devos on Instagram. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday at 7.
Hey, wait, don't go anywhere yet. I know John said to follow us on Instagram for our Devos on Mondays and on Fridays at 7, but I've got some updates for you. We're going to be changing stuff around a little bit on our social media platforms that might be getting just a little bit weird, a little bit funny, and you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to follow us on Instagram at Vineyard Youth AZ and on TikTok at Vineyard Youth AZ _. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yeah, it's just something like I looked at my life.